This is breaking news.
That breaking news, DHS has released the names of the 2 people shot by a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent in southeast Portland. Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Noelle Ford. The driver of the vehicle has been identified as Luis David Nico Mancato and the passenger as Yorlani Betsabeth Zambrano Contreras. DHS says both are in the U.S. illegally and are suspected members of a Venezuelan gang. The shooting happened on Southeast Main Street outside of Adventist Health yesterday afternoon. DHS says the driver tried to run over the agents and an agent fired in self-defense. Both were taken to the hospital, and Katu is still working to learn their condition this morning.
This is breaking news.
That breaking news, 2 people are in the hospital after Portland police say a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent shot them in southeast Portland. This is a live look at the ICE facility on Portland's south waterfront, where tensions escalated overnight and protests are likely to pick back up again later this morning. Portland police say they've made several arrests there already. Good morning. It is just about 6 o'clock on this Friday morning, January 9th. Thanks for joining us for K2 News this morning. I'm Angelica Thornton. K2 is on your side with live team coverage, working this story from multiple angles this morning. K2's Joe English is live where that shooting happened with where the investigation stands right now. K2's Daryl Burke is live at the ICE facility following the protests there. K2's Wesley Ogle is tracking reaction from the live desk.
Just one day after the horrific violence in Minnesota, our community here in Portland was witness to a moment of fear, confusion, and heartbreak. Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents. That is why we are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place.
Politicians and protesters across Oregon are condemning federal immigration enforcement in Portland after a Border Patrol agent shot 2 people in the Hazelwood neighborhood. City leaders say the shooting has raised serious questions about federal operations in Portland. According to police, the shooting happened on Southeast Main Street just outside Adventist Health, but the victims were found about 2.5 miles away at Northeast 146th and Burnside. This morning, we're hearing new audio from dispatch just after the shooting happened. Take a listen.
Stage at your discretion, police are en route. It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well. Your top group is going to be Ops 1, Engine 7 with Medic 314 and Medic 321 with police en route. This will be a shooting at the Brea Apartments, 10 Northeast 146th Avenue. We have a male who was shot twice in the arm and his wife who was shot in the chest. Your top group is going to be Ops 1. Stand by for additional dispatch.
Now, you heard the dispatcher say ICE, but it was a Border Patrol agent who pulled the trigger. Medics then took the people shot to the hospital. We are still working to get an update on their condition this morning. The Department of Homeland Security is providing its account of what happened yesterday. They said U.S. Border Patrol agents conducted a targeted stop at 2:19 p.m. They said, quote, "The passenger of the vehicle is a Venezuelan illegal alien affiliated with the transnational Tren de Aragua prostitution ring and involved in a recent shooting in Portland. The driver is believed to be a member of the vicious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. When agents identified themselves to the vehicle occupants, the driver weaponized his vehicle and attempted to run over the agents." DHS says an agent fired a defensive shot out of fear for his life. They say the driver then drove off with the passenger. The FBI is investigating the shooting, but not sharing much information. K2's Joe English is live this morning in Southeast Portland, where the shooting happened. Joe, I know the feds aren't saying much here, right? But we are hearing from local and state leaders, and it sounds like that they're frustrated by what they're not getting from federal agents.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they tell us. They were quick to respond on Thursday in saying there will be a thorough investigation by the state. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the Oregon Department of Justice will be taking that on. So we can expect to hear more from the AG and about an investigation that might happen from here by the state. In a statement, Rayfield said the cases may also be referred to the Multnomah County District Attorney for possible prosecution, depending on what they find. Now, in that statement, Rayfield said, quote, "We have been clear about our concerns with excessive use of force by federal agents in Portland and nationally. We've also been clear about our intent to investigate circumstances involving federal agents to ensure they are accountable." Now, yesterday, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson backed that up.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past. That's right. That is why we are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place. Our community deserves answers. Our community deserves accountability. And most of all, our community deserves peace.
Now, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek said that, quote, "One thing is very clear. When a president endorses tearing families apart and attempts to govern through fear, trust is essential to maintaining safety." Portland Police Chief Bob Day said that PPB is in regular contact with the FBI, who's doing the investigation, and PPB is offering assistance. Day said, "We do not know the facts of this case. We are simply providing support." AG Rayfield says the state DOG will be interviewing witnesses. They'll be reviewing videos and other evidence, and we'll be keeping track on that. Let you know what they find. In Southeast Portland, Joe English, K2 News.
Yeah, what kind of assistance, what kind of support? That's one of the questions that we're going to continue to ask PPB today, because we really don't know what that means. Joe, thank you. K2's team coverage continues now. Daryl Burke is live at the ICE facility where Portland police made a number of arrests yesterday where protests broke out. I know there was a pretty big crowd out there last night, and it seemed like tensions were escalating. Daryl, what are you seeing out there today?
Yeah, Angelica, as of this morning, no big crowds at all. Not a single protester out here. We're in front of the ICE facility here in South Portland, and as you can see, there are no demonstrators, at least that we can see. So things are quiet right now, but at least at one point last night, that was not the case, because as of this morning, we're learning that PPB did arrest 6 people last night, all of who were booked into the Multnomah County Detention Center, facing charges ranging from disorderly conduct and rioting, according to the Bureau. Now, we want to show you this video right here. This is how protests have usually started, very similarly to what we've been monitoring in recent months, with protesters forming a conga line at one point, but things later turned tense. PPB says they were trying to get protesters to move to the sidewalk as vehicles came through this area. At around 9 p.m., officers say they repeatedly asked one group to move before arresting 5 of them, and shortly after, at around 11:30, PPB made a 6th arrest for disorderly conduct. We spoke to demonstrators who tell K2 the shooting only motivates more protesters to come out and make their voices heard.
We're here to protest what's right. I mean, we love our people. We're obviously brown, and what's going on in the world just isn't right with us. So we're out here to show out. We're out here to show our voice.
To date, PPB says they've made a total of 79 arrests related to protest activity at the ICE facility. As we've covered extensively, dating back to last summer, a lot of these protests really picked up when the Trump administration started its immigration enforcement crackdown, and further escalated as President Trump tried to deploy National Guard troops to Portland. And as the sun comes up today and as we move into the weekend, we're expecting protests to pick up once again. So we'll be out here monitoring it every step of the way. Live in South Portland, Daryl Burke, K2 News.
And things change based on how the president responds and what we hear from his administration. Kristi Noem, I know it kind of gets things riled up there. So fingers crossed things stay peaceful and no one gets hurt there over the weekend. Daryl, thank you. K2's Wesley Ogle is at the live desk with more information about one of those protesters who was arrested. What are you seeing, Wes?
Yeah, so one of the people arrested last night is 24-year-old Seth Todd of Clackamas. You probably don't know his name, but you know what he looks like. He's the guy known as the Portland Frog. He, of course, went viral in early October. He became became a symbol of nonviolent resistance. Willamette Week, that's what this is from, actually named him Portlander of the Year. Now, his charges from last night are second-degree disorderly conduct and interfering with a peace officer. And back to you.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people dressed as him at my front door on Halloween this year. Even little kids dressed as the frog. He's a big deal. All right, Wes, thank you. K2 will continue to track this shooting involving a federal agent all morning long. We have posted our extensive coverage at KATU.com and on the K2 YouTube page.